Yo, it's JSF. I just want to make a quick video. I say quick because I don't think it's going to take that long. I don't think this part of the game is rocket science, but it's a problem that I hope isn't replicated in the future. And it's just something to know about the game, right? Something about identifying character strengths and weaknesses, etc., etc., etc. So what I have is two characters that I deem to be perfect characters. Now, what does that mean? What is a perfect character in this game, right? Because there is no perfect character. Like, she still has shit that's super minus. She's still punishable. Like, you know, that's still minus fucking 20. She still has an 8 frame down 1. When I always say you want a 7 frame, like, what is a perfect character? So, goes along with what I've been saying a lot. And sorry if I'm repeating myself. If I am, let me know in the comments. I'm sorry. I'll work on it. But what I say is the things you need to be a good character in this game, right? There are things I think you need to play the meta. Then there are other things that are helpful in just in fighting games in general, right? Like, it's good to have a projectile. It's good to have long mid-range buttons to be able to whiff punish people. It's not necessary all the time, but it's good to have, right? Projectile, not necessary all the time, but good to have. Have a launcher to do combos with. Almost always necessary. Liu Kang we'll get to. But yeah, so what makes a perfect character? Well, there are different levels of characters in this game. Obviously, some characters are more keep away, long range, zoning, shoot you and poke you, like long range button, shoot you with a projectile, like Frost type characters. Then there's more rush down characters like Jackie, 9 frame mid, get up in your face, strike throw, makes you do decent damage, etc. Then there's like mid range characters like Spawn, who excel at whiff punishing, yada yada yada. And this is a character that does literally every one of those things and is good at literally every one of those things, right? So that's why I say Cassie's a perfect character. She's got a 9 frame mid, so she can rush down, and this pushes back a good amount, which makes it gives off the illusion that wow, did that just say -1? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you shitting me? Hold on, let's see that again, because I didn't know that was a thing. I'm not gonna be able to replicate it. I'll see it when I rewatch the video. Pretty sure I made that -1, which is nuts. But yeah, I know it has pushback, so it's like, oh, it's not abusable anymore. But it's still -3, so it's extremely safe. So if you're gonna do this, like, you have to look out for that overhead, because somebody jumps in, you're probably low blocking, because that's your reflex in this game. Nothing really wrong with that, but Cassie only has 1 low, and it isn't that good. But it's still good that she has a low, but it's unsafe, right? So if you happen to be blocking low, you're respecting the second hit of that string. That means this can be staggered with a walk up or with a dash cancel, right? Pressure, you know how that goes. Strike throw makes etc., etc., etc. I don't need to go through Cassie. I'm getting too sidetracked. She's got mid-range buttons. She's got plus frames. I know it's only +1, but when you have an 11 frame mid, that hits from about that range, and then a 10 frame high that will hit for sure. Being +1 is a really big deal. Even this part of the string is -5, so she's got good fucking staggers, good buttons. This ain't even all of them, but she still has this, which is an amazing 10 frame high button. This shit is like Joker's for it too. Like, before it was even in the game. It's kind of nuts. This shit, 11 frame mid, that's better than most characters' 11 frame mids. That's -4 on block, also staggerable, also hit confirmable, etc., etc., etc. One of the best projectiles in the game because they're low profiles, and it's fast, and it knocks down on hit. Like, it's really, really, really good. So Cassie basically has no weaknesses, right? She has auto shimmy shit string with 111. So, you know, just to complete the whole shindig. The only thing you can say Cassie doesn't have, well, she doesn't get amazing damage, but damage is not the name of the game in this game. Liu Kang doesn't get great damage either, so it's not really a big deal. You can say that, I don't really know Cassie BMBs, but she doesn't really get, you get a little more than that. You get like 280, 290. Her damage isn't amazing and it's breakable, right? So you would say, oh, well, Cassie can't get unbreakable damage. And the thing is, yes, she can, right? Yes, she can. So You just have to play a different variation for it, right? And I remember when Sonic Fox first, like when this game was going to Evo and shit, and Sonic first picked Yaz Queen Cassie Cage, I was like, what? Then I realized unbreakable damage. Like the RoboCop shit that I was started to do a month or so ago that I thought was cute is what been going on with Cassie. You know, like, so she has literally everything, like literally everything you would want to be good. She has it, and none of it's bad, right? Like none of it's weak. Like, this is why I always laugh when people don't put Cassie in like top tier, and I'm like, y'all forget that Cassie never really got nerfed. Like, would they nerf this? Okay, so you don't get a free side switch anymore. Boo fucking goo. You know what I mean? It's still safe if you EX it and they can't flawless block it, you know, or they don't flawless block it, I should say. So it's not, you know what I mean? Like, that one change happened and people were like, ugh, Cassie. And I'm like, you guys are weird. And we have another character, Liu Kang, who doesn't have the super long range buttons that Cassie has, right? But he has probably the best mobility in the game. As you can see, it's hard to keep moving standing still. There's jab string in the game, 7 frame at 1, 11 frame mid string, 9 frame mid string. Really good crush and blow off that, really good crush and blow off that, crush and blow off both throws, strike throw mix, stagger game. Really good zoning, really good projectile game, low projectile. Can literally punish you with anything, for anything with this. He makes up for not having the mid-range buttons and getting out of space with flying kick, because if you whiff anything or jump, I can do that on reaction. It's a little harder to do and a little less rewarding sometimes, but it's still there. Or you can just zone them out, or you can take the opportunity to get in and mix, blah blah blah. But basically what I'm trying to get at is NetherRealm designs certain characters, and I know that these two characters are the main protagonists of the game, Cassie and Liu Kang, so I know that they're gonna be accessible. But the problem is, you give them, like, making a character accessible doesn't mean giving them every single tool possible in the game. Like, Ryu in Street Fighter can't do everything in the game. He's the baseline. He is the default. He is, okay, you can shoot a projectile, you can do an uppercut, you've got some decent neutral and some decent damage. And I'm not saying they have to be Ryu. I'm not saying that, right? I'm not saying, because apparently Ryu is pretty bad in Street Fighter now. Apparently he sucks. I'm not saying they need to be that. But when you want your character to be accessible and easy to use, but then you make them top tier, it becomes a problem. Like, that should be seen at, it's not impossible. And I feel like I've said this before, but I don't know if I have and put the video out. It's not impossible to have a easy to use top tier character that's not stupid. It's not impossible, but it's difficult, and if you can't do it right, you shouldn't be trying to do it. It's like when Johnny Cage was top tier, he was rampant. When Liu Kang, when everybody first realized he was super good, and you just seen a million Liu Kangs online because he's so easy to use, right? Like, there needs to be some kind of and like, when you put characters like this in the game, and here's how I always revert everything back to the characters I play. Here's how I do it. When you put characters like that in the game, they put other characters to shame. Like, why would I play Frost? Hold on, let me just pick Frost and just show you. Let me pick Frost and just show you. And then who's another character? Shit, I can even pick Spawn. I can even pick both of my characters, right? Both characters that I play personally that I can talk about. And it's crazy how one character, like, deletes both of these characters. And she's not the only one. It's just super interesting, right? Because you have to look at characters from the standpoint of, why should anybody play this character? Other than, oh, I like that character. I love Ray and I love Katana. I love Noob Saibot. Okay, cool. But other than that, why would anybody else play the character? Do they only exist for the fans that like them already, or do you want anybody else to play them? So, like I said with Cassie, we're going to look at Frost first. Long range buttons. She's got one, and she's got one more. Except that Cassie's long range high has a little less range. Has less range. Not drastically less, but it has less range. But it's 9 frames faster. So this is not as reliable already because it's 20 frames, 19 frames to startup. Yes, it's 0 on block, but if Cassie finishes the string, hers is +1, so that's not a plus. Okay, cool. Cassie's got a 11 frame mid that hits from about here, minus 19 frames. They're both -4, but mine is 8 frames slower, right? I forgot to mention that her down 4, Cassie's down 4 jails into her back 2. I really wish I showed that. I might show it anyway. I might go back to it. But her down 4 jails into her back 2. Even if the animation doesn't hit you, it will jail. I recorded it and I was like, wow, that's crazy. So there's that. Cassie has zoning. She has a mid fireball that low profiles. Why would I do all these high fireballs? Why would I do all these high projectiles when I can do Cassie's low profiling mid projectile and it does knockdown on hit, right? Like, it's like, I don't understand. Like, strike throw mix is easier with her, staggers are better. She's got a 9 frame mid. My fastest mid is 11. Her 11 frame mid has better range than mine. Like, her 9 frame mid and her 11 frame mid are better than my only fast mid, which is 11 frames. Like, she's got a low string. I got a low string. Mine is 16 frames. I think hers is less. Mine's unsafe, just like hers is unsafe. But every single hit of my string has a gap. Gap, gap, gap. The second hit is safe. The third hit is unsafe. The first hit's unsafe. And there's gaps and all over that shit. So it's like Cassie Cage puts Frost to shame. Like, her existing means there's no real reason to play Frost as a base character. I know once you get into variation specific things, you can say, oh, Frost has a dive kick, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, cool, that's cute. But I mean, as a base character as a whole, what you want to, like, the entire game plan of playing Frost before we even got variation 3s, like, Cassie just did it better. And I realized, like, a few months in, I was like, I should have just picked Cassie. But I already liked Frost and wanted to play Frost anyway. Like, it wasn't about her being good, I just liked the character. Yeah, and even with Spawn, right? Same thing, same exact thing. I got a high fireball, and he has a good fireball. Spawn's fireball is good, but it's a high, and the second hit's a mid. The mid can be low profiled because look how high up it is. He's got this mid, 16 frames. She's got an 11 frame mid that hits from about this range, maybe a little bit less. This one, 13 frames. Again, she's got an 11 frame mid that has that exact same range. 12 frame low. She's got a 9 frame mid, and then her low starter is it's unsafe but has more range. But I think it has a gap in it, but it's not the low string is not her strength, right? And she also does have a straight projectile too. She has an air projectile that neither one of them has. Yeah, she's got an auto shimmy string that neither one of them has. Like, it's like, honestly, like, Cassie is a better version than both of these characters. Like, she's just a better version of the same character. And it's like, as long as you keep designing like this, you'll never have balance, right? This is the problem. Like, I'll always say you need one-to-one comparisons and all that kind of stuff. It's like, balance in NetherRealm games will never exist because they always have a character that puts other characters out of business. Like, people in Mortal Kombat, the game, the franchise, the fandom is very, very big on fan base. So people are going to play Jade no matter how good or bad she is. People are going to play Katana. People are going to play Kung Lao. Like, they're going to play who they're going to play because they're Mortal Kombat fans and are passionate. That's just how it is. But a lot of characters, like, if you want to think of it from a competitive aspect, like, there are certain, Cassie's just one example. Jackie's another example of characters that are like perfect characters that literally put other characters out of commission. Like, you could say, nah, Spawn does more damage than what's her name, Cassie Cage, and I'm like, yeah, he does. A variation 2, he does more than, he does great damage, you know, he does. But at the end of the day, in high level play, like, when somebody knows how to block and knows that this is a high and knows that this is good for whip punishing, like, you're not gonna open somebody up. Because there's no real way to open people up. Like, you have to catch them slipping. That's the whole character, right? And the difference with Cassie is she can do that. She can catch people slipping and whip punish them. She can zone, but they can't duck her zoning, right? They have to deal with it. Like, it's a mid projectile that chips. Like, you gotta do something. And then if you just try to jump, she can jump and projectile you or straight projectile you. So she's got a really good projectile game. And she's got a good strike throw mix. She has a 9-frame mid that's -3 on block. That apparently can be -1. And that sets up for the strike throw mix real good. And then that goes into an overhead. And the fact that she has a low starter and not an overhead starter, but an overhead in one of her main combo strings. And it's not a 50-50 or nothing like that, but there is some merit to being able to make somebody block low and block overhead without doing a fucking short hop, because we all can see this. You know what I mean? And neither one of these characters can do that. So it's just something that I think needs to be taken a look at from NetherRealm. And like, as long as they keep designing games like this, like, you'll always have this problem. And this isn't the first time this has happened. It's probably the second time this has happened. But like, you have to, at a certain point, like, you can't make perfect characters. You gotta stop making perfect characters, because you're gonna make characters with weaknesses. You are like, you're gonna make characters with some kind of a weakness. Like, Scarlet's gonna have some kind of weakness. Katana may have some kind of weakness, but then Cassie has 0 weaknesses whatsoever. Liu Kang, virtually no weaknesses whatsoever. Cabal, what's really his weakness? Like, you know what I mean? There's other characters in this ballpark, and then like, you have mechanics or just things about your game that are not universal, right? Like, jailing your pokes into your strings is not universal, even though it should be. Some characters can jail down 4 into any of their combo strings, and you gotta hold that shit. Other characters cannot do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, the game is just a little all over the place. And like, you can't have perfection and have balance, if that makes sense. I probably said that wrong. You can't have perfect characters and then have imperfect characters in your same game and expect balance. Or maybe they don't even want to even try to make this game remotely balanced. Maybe that's the case. But if that's the case, then that's pretty stupid, because you have a competitive circuit. But I feel like, me personally, I think every character should have a chance to win. I don't think every character should play exactly the same or anything like that, but there should be a blueprint, right? Make Cassie the blueprint, make Liu Kang the blueprint, and then go from there. But they need to be a little less strong if they're going to be the blueprint, unless you use them as a blueprint and then buff them after. But again, if they're going to be this accessible and easy to use, the things that make them that easy to use should not also be the things that make them good. Like, Liu Kang's 4-4 is extremely easy to use and brain dead, but it's also one of his best tools. Like, that's where it should be a problem. Like, what makes him really good should be harder to implement, or harder to implement in your game plan, right? It shouldn't be that easy. Like, Frost, one of her good tools is back 2, but it's 19 frames, and if you jump, I'm eating fucking death. So I gotta sometimes do down back 2 to make sure it catches people jumping, right? So like, I have to make reads to use one of my good tools. You don't have to read shit to use Liu Kang's 4-4. You don't have to read shit to use Cassie's 4-4, or her 4-2, or her back 2, or any of her good tools, right? So it's like, I'm totally fine with them designing characters with a risk element to them. I think that's totally how you should design a character. I think they have good things, they need to have flaws, but if you're gonna do that, you gotta do it across the board. You have to. And it's not even about being unsafe, but Cassie's launcher is even hard to punish. It's really hard to punish, especially online. And I'm gonna start just talking about this game like online is all that exists, because online is all that exists. I'm not even going to really talk about offline, or I'm gonna try to not even talk about offline, because offline doesn't really exist. So online is the game. Online, this is a different game than offline, 100%. But offline don't exist no more. So it's like, at a certain point, you can't just throw Jackie in here. Like, Jackie and fucking Frost being in the same game doesn't make any sense. Like, they don't belong in the same game. Or, you know, and there's other characters and other examples. I'm just using one that I know really well. And Frost is the worst character in the game. That's why I keep bringing her up. She's the worst character in the game. That's why. And I'm comparing her to some of the best characters in the game, to some S tier or A tier or whatever the fuck you want to call the top tier characters. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. It's kind of demoralizing, because you like hope for a patch, and then they drop a patch and they barely touch Jackie and don't buff Frost at all. And you go, oh, okay, well, I guess this is the game. And they buff Cassie. They made Cassie's useless her useless move in Digital Soldier. They buffed that, so now it has a use, but they don't do anything about Frost about her useless moves. Nothing at all. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, anyway, that's just what I was thinking. Something I wanted to talk about for a little bit right quick. Hopefully this video isn't too long. That wasn't my game plan, but just something about the characters in this game. Just another thing that I think needs to be worked on for future titles. If they're not gonna do much more work on this game, at least build on it in the future and just learn from this mistake. Like, if you do Injustice 3, don't make Superman's 4-2-3 good. Make it trash. If Superman's in the game and he has 4-2-3 again, make it literally 11 frames, 12 frames or something, and make it scale like a motherfucker. So, like, you can use it. You can use it and it's alright. It's not the worst string in the game. It's alright. But you're not going to dominate by doing that one string over and over and over and over, because that's fucking brain dead. I don't know why that's so hard for NetherRealm to grasp. Why it's so hard for them to figure that out. To just take the things that make a character accessible and tone them down a little bit and make other things good. Make the harder to do things good. Like, man, like, I would, like, y'all nerf Joker's damage. I would have nerfed Liu Kang's damage unless he popped you up for a combo. So I would have nerfed the scaling on four bicycle kick combos, 1-2, or back 1-2, whatever his mids and his jab string. I would have nerfed all the scaling on that into bicycle kick, so he only gets like 20%. Even if he spends 2 bars, he gets like 21, 22%. That's it. Or like that's 19, 20, 21%. That's all he gets. Now, if he does a combo where he like launches you with like, what is it, 4-3-3 or whatever, like if he does that and he pops you up, then he can get real damage. He can get like 30%. Then he can get real damage. Cool. But that's like what I would have done to Liu Kang. You know what I mean? But instead they nerfed Joker's damage, which is already low.
So much funnier.
And I really didn't understand that, because nobody was really doing shit with Joker but Sonic, and that's really it. Like, you see some Jokers online, but it's not like you see 1,000 Joker players whooping everybody's ass online. It's not that way at all. So yeah. Anyway, I would go about it. Maybe one day I'll do a video where I say how I would patch and change every character, or if I would patch and change them at all. If I think they're fine, or I just don't know. Like, I don't know shit about Collector. I don't like this ugly ass character. I have no desire to play him ever. Same with Devora. These two characters I don't know shit about, and I'm never gonna learn shit about unless I have to fight one of them a lot. Then I'll learn something. But yeah, maybe I'll do that video one day. Or if people want me to, but yeah, that's just some of the stuff that I'm thinking. Because I think it's so easy to not do this. Like, you have to be doing this on purpose or something. And if that's the case, why? Why are you purposely making this the best character in the game? Or this the best character in the game? Or this the best character in the game? Or this the best character in the game? Like, Cetrion's another example, like Frost. Like, she's got mid-range buttons. She's got, better staggers, she can zone better. She's got a teleport and variation too. Like, it's just, there are characters that put other characters out of business. It's like, why would I play the bad? Like, I used to always say Frost was a bad version of Scarlet. It's a little different, but that's what I used to say when the game first came out. It's a little different, but she's more like a bad version of Cassie. But still, like, why do characters like that exist? That's all I'm saying. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here before I repeat myself too much. If you liked the video, please shoot me a like. If you're loving the content or enjoying the content, at least shoot me a subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Yeah, man. Follow my Twitch. I'll get back to streaming real soon. I need to put that in the bio. I'm slacking. But I'm going to get out of here before I talk y'all heads off, man. JSF, stay safe. Subscribe for more content.